Hello there, welcome to ITV News Meridian. Victims and the families of those affected by the infected blood scandal say they've been left feeling powerless and distressed by the government's approach to compensation. The chairman of the inquiry, Sir Brian Langstaff, has today announced he intends to publish a further report looking at the timeliness and adequacy of the government's response.
Well, in her October budget, the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, allocated more than £11 billion to compensate victims. But campaigners have since contacted the inquiry with concerns about the way compensation is being allocated and how long it's taking.
Well, our reporter Derek Johnson has been following this inquiry and he joins us in the studio. Derek, how significant is the announcement today?
Well, quite significant, I think, because it's a strong rebuke, really, isn't it? It clearly comes from a place of frustration that this £11.8 billion has not found its way to the victims soon enough. We know Sir Brian Langstaff chaired this very long public inquiry. We got the findings last summer. He is now saying there will be a new report looking at the timeliness and adequacy of the government's approach to compensation. He's not even ruled out more hearings because he says people are distressed and feel powerless. We know that more than 30,000 people in the UK contracted HIV and hepatitis in the 70s through to the 90s because of contaminated blood products. Mark Ward, he's from Peacehaven, he's haemophiliac. He spent years in chronic pain as a victim. We spoke to him today to ask him what he felt about the news.
They announced a framework where somebody like me, living infected, I might not see compensation possibly for at least another 2 years. And those that I love, like my 80-year-old mother, maybe 2029. You know, we've been campaigning all these years and it feels very much like they are still waiting for people to die.
I mean, it's an issue that just does not respect boundaries or borders. I went to the inquiry several times and I spoke to victims from Whitstable, from Worthing, from Chatham, all with completely different stories about how they came to be in the position that they were in. And we spoke to lawyers today representing some of the victims. They say the problem is that there's just not a strong enough system, too many applications.
Victims take the view that the government doesn't want to spend the money that quickly. So if you don't want to spend the money that quickly, you spend it slowly and you make sure that it is spent slowly. Now, that may be over cynical, it may be wrong, but that's the view the victims have been left with, that we're in a very, very sorry place at the moment.
There's been a very short response from the government, so I'll read it in full. The victims of this scandal have suffered unspeakably. We remain fully committed to cooperating with the inquiry and acting on its recommendations and are grateful for its comprehensive work to date. So far, we've set aside £11.8 billion to compensate victims, made compensation offers of over £48 million and paid £1 billion in interim payments. That's what the government's saying.
OK, Derek, thank you.